Has come out from hiding and she's asking fans.
In the history of the Chrisean rock circus, this is the darkest time. Furthermore, this time around, it's not about arguments, fights, or negative feuds on social media. Her child is a reason. Jason Lee's disturbing statement left everyone in disbelief when frightening leaks of Junior's medical records started to surface. Chrisean Jr.'s health problem is actually much worse than anyone could have imagined. Moreover, the prognosis is catastrophic. But this is the thing that has everyone on the sidelines. Why has Chrisean pleaded for prayers instead of transparency while remaining mute about this illness? Exactly what is she hiding? How far down this rabbit hole really is it? After openly asking her fans to pray for my child for the first time, Chrisean suddenly shifted her focus from the chaos of the Blueface soap opera to church and faith. Remember that there have been worries about this pregnancy from the beginning. During the live feeds, fans remember seeing Chrisean show off her stomach while smoking blunts and drinking a lot of booze on the internet. She even gave other pregnant ladies advice that it was okay to drink and smoke. Not only was that reckless behavior denounced, concerning the dangers of fetal alcohol syndrome and withdrawal symptoms in infants, doctors and activists voiced their outrage. In light of Jason Lee's revelation, many are now questioning whether Chrisean's choices during her pregnancy played a role in Junior's hazardous situation. The circus might have to settle down. The problems that this family faces, though, are only becoming worse. One of the worst parts of a live interview was when Chrisean was so drunk that security had to forcibly remove her from the studio. The video shocked, upset, and embarrassed her fans when it went viral online. The comedian Charleston White went too far by recklessly speculating that Chrisean's newborn child will be disabled, but he did join in on the angry backlash.
I got 5,000. I say somebody tag Blueface. Somebody tag Blueface and Christian Rock. I got $5,000 that they have a retarded baby. If it ain't gonna be retarded, it's gonna be autistic. Or if it ain't be autistic, it's gonna be
The fire was already burning fiercely, and his comments only made it worse. However, in a startling change of events, despite the fact that they were both caught on a toxic roller coaster, Blueface actually defended her when a viral video of her smoking marijuana while pregnant appeared. His argument on Twitter was that smoking has no discernible impact on pregnancy and that many women smoke right up until the last trimester. His comments were denounced as dangerous and careless by mothers and medical experts online, igniting a new wave of controversy. Fans thought things couldn't get much messier. But then the paternity circus took center stage. Blueface chastised Chrisean for alleged adultery and accused her of having other partners, in addition to publicly disputing the pregnancy by calling Ronnie Doe out. He even implied that he might be the biological father. He went out of his way to answer all of your questions in a post on X. His official Rock and I are no longer together. It's all business. When I tried it, it was clearly not giving anything. Before she announced she was pregnant, not mine, but someone else's kid. That news flipped the internet upside down. Fans were immediately worried about more than just the health of the baby. They wanted to discover if the father was actually Blueface. As a result of careless accusations, leaked footage, and ongoing drama, the situation was spiraling into a scandal that nobody could have foreseen. Chrisean was unrestrained in his attack on Blueface. In the last year, he said, 11 different people have been involved until I see DNA tests. Then it's not mine, replied the man. The jab hit Chrisean hard and he fired back immediately. When she left him on a trip to Baltimore, she accused him of being angry and paranoid. He is simply angry, she says, because I traveled to Baltimore without telling him. I said I was in Los Angeles with my homegirl, Stunner Girl. But I wasn't. Baltimore was where my family and I were. I'm on vacation. And he continues blowing up my phone, asking, "Where are you? Where are you?" I spent a lot of time avoiding him. 24-hour period, therefore. He finds that inappropriate. He was a little offended since he couldn't tell if I was with a male or my family. It was clear that they were at odds. But she laughed it off. However, the conversation shifted from turbulent marital drama to serious concerns once Junior was born. Following a social media post that appeared to highlight alarming details about the newborn's health, followers' biggest concerns started to emerge. Observers saw red flags in Junior's appearance, such as long, low-set ears, wrinkles in the corners of his eyes, and an open mouth all the time. The images and videos created a great deal of speculation. Whether Junior's high-pitched cries reflected symptoms of Cre-Duchess syndrome, or were a sign of alcohol withdrawal from Chrisean's negligent behavior during pregnancy, was debated in online forums. Advocates and medical professionals began to speak out, stressing the value of appropriate testing over speculation.
I don't know if you guys seen Chrisean Jr.'s baby has been confirmed to be blind, completely blind. And I silently watched her journey when she was pregnant. I never followed Chrisean before that. I never followed Blueface. I never followed any of that, those people, their stories, their situations. But while she was pregnant, we all know there was she was going on a million different podcasts and creators videos, and she would be heavily drinking when she was pregnant. So when the baby did come, a lot of people, me included, there was a lot of speculation that was going around that the baby had fetal alcohol syndrome, or there was something else, and I can't place my finger on the other condition people heavily speculated that the baby had. Either way, people could tell the baby's not hitting milestones. And if you do hindsight 2020, if you do look back of the videos that she did post with Chrisean Jr., you could see the baby doesn't trace with his eyes like he's supposed to. Just so certain things that a normal toddler or baby his ages, as he was getting older, those milestones.
The internet, however, was unyielding. The real bombshell was then dropped, and inner user validated Junior's illness, insisting that the symptoms were typical of fetal alcohol syndrome. After that revelation, the internet was ablaze. Rather than brushing off the growing concerns, people started to ask Chrisean questions and pushed her to get her baby the care she needed. Her pregnancy choices and the unborn child's destiny became agonizingly apparent, as what had started off as just another turbulent Blueface outburst against the Chrisean conflict suddenly turned into something far more serious. Chrisean's reckless prenatal lifestyle, which included excessive drinking and unmoderated smoking, is seen by many to have contributed to the developmental challenges of her unborn kid. Even Blueface's mother, Chrisean, publicly broke down in tears, describing how devastating it was to watch her grandson struggle with possible medical problems. In that one moment, many were certain that the family was concealing a depressing truth they didn't want to face.
Later, how is Junior doing?
He's great. He's growing.
Amen.
I've been keeping him off the internet on purpose. So,
Instead of collecting herself or dealing with the situation, Chrisean shocked everyone by getting a tattoo of Blueface's face on her cheek. While her child was the subject of great examination, the choice was instantly criticized as reckless and tone-deaf, sparking a fresh round of criticism. Chrisean came under fire online from Tia Kemp, who has never hesitated to criticize famous people. She chastised her for putting her child's needs ahead of chasing toxic connections. Because of Junior's missed developmental milestones, Kemp put a lot of pressure on her, wondering why he hadn't started to crawl or hold up his body by then, as babies often do. We're trying to find standards. How are you? By now, he should be able to support himself, therefore we want to be sure he can crawl. Tell me, please. Your mother is telling you this, is she? I hope he is maintaining his composure. A fresh discussion over whether Chrisean was establishing the right priorities was triggered by Kemp's deeply felt comments. Following months of dragging, Kemp reiterated his criticism of Chrisean's parenting style during the pregnancy, pointing out that Junior had not yet started to walk or run and suggesting that a serious problem was keeping him from doing so. On social media, the already fervent speculation was stoked like wildfire by that conversation. In spite of everything that was happening, Chrisean's response was one of total denial. She vehemently rejected any problems Junior could be having and maintained that her infant boy was well. She responded to critics by saying, "He's great." During an interview regarding the Danza project, "He's growing larger. I have purposefully kept him off the internet." But with the internet scrutinizing every image and video that surfaced, the mistrust just won't go away, and her every move only fuels the fire. Chrisean persisted for weeks in her determination to keep Junior off the internet. During her sit-down on the Danza project, she said, "He's great." Looking straight into the camera and ignoring the critics, "He's growing larger. I have purposefully kept him off the internet." She made a point of saying that she was positive her son was doing okay. Then came the unexpected development. When a leaked medical report unexpectedly surfaced online, Chrisean's denial was finally destroyed. The certificate appeared to validate the rumors that had been swirling about her. Since she became pregnant, Junior's health was in serious trouble. The post depiction of the child's precarious state was immediately linked by many to Chrisean's substance usage during her pregnancy, particularly her extremely public live streaming, where she was caught drinking and smoking. The disclosure of the records didn't stop there. It revealed fetal alcohol syndrome, which experts and internet researchers have long dreaded. among many other problems. It also raised even more ominous issues. A tragic picture of a pregnancy that seemingly lacked proper prenatal care was painted by the details, which included claims of exposure to drugs like opioids and possibly cocaine. What many people once discarded as rumors began to seem more terrible and authentic, as some fans lamented that an innocent child was suffering because of his mother's choices. Others flooded comment sections with indignation and calls for responsibility. Some even promoted family intervention, saying that someone needed to step in before things got out of hand. The matter was already a huge circus, but Chrisean flipped it around with her own explosive charges just as the internet was still in shock over these terrible disclosures. Chrisean wasn't holding back when she disclosed her most startling claims to date, which were that Blueface had physically mistreated her when she was pregnant. She says that while she was 7 months pregnant, he threatened to kill her and their unborn child. His frightful words, "Your stomach will bleed if you get up," came back to her. "I am going to kill this baby. Your bleeding will continue for a month." Additionally, she said that he had once struck her with a car when she was still awaiting. Chrisean saw these violent events to be more than merely painful events. Junior's health problems have a clear correlation with them, but not everyone accepted her account. To help her now incarcerated son, Blueface's mother, Chrisean, hurried in, changing the topic. She asserted that Chrisean was the true aggressor in their toxic relationship. "He is sitting here merely passing the time as if it were his fault and his problem." Chrisean claims, "Since he isn't complaining, we're trying to provide him with other things." She pointed out to the audience that Blueface's other children were born healthy and that Junior's condition was caused by Chrisean's careless lifestyle. She kept smoking, drinking, and going out in spite of medical and family recommendations. It wasn't just family members that spoke up. Additionally, contributing his voice was media figure Jason Lee, who seemed more like a mentor than a critic. He counseled Chrisean to stop delaying the problem and prioritize her health and her son's health. Often spotted drinking and smoking beside Blueface, he mentioned on his podcast. He further underlined that Junior's present serious health problems are most likely a direct outcome of those reckless choices. According to Jason, the ongoing toxic back and forth between Chrisean and Blueface created a toxic environment that could only make their child's predicament worse. From this last installment, one thing is glaringly clear. The story is now officially a tragic reality rather than a celebrity scandal. Discussions are no longer limited to messy relationships and viral debates. The future of the child is at risk since stolen medical records attest to the child's impairments and developing health problems. Blueface and Chrisean are no longer the only emphasis. It is unclear if their choices as parents have prevented their son from having a healthy start in life, and that question haunts all those who are observing. Chrisean is now receiving advice from Jason Lee to prioritize his health and not pursue stardom, and the prospects for her son. He's also not wrong. This goes beyond simply another awkward hip-hop headline. When the life and well-being of a kid are on the line, the stakes are quite high. Here's the important question: has Chrisean realized the necessity to get her baby the medical care he so desperately needs? Does the internet continue to scrutinize her every move and decision? Or does she still live in denial? Fans are still split. The critics are more vocal than ever, and the receipts keep growing. How do you feel? Will she be a strong mother? Or will her busy life continue to take precedence over her priorities? As you are already aware, this story is far from finished. So please feel free to leave your opinions. We will be available to provide all of the fascinating updates. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell.